As you mentioned, we've got the Vision Conference that's coming up. And one of the things I didn't have time to cover at conference in Dallas was some of the other really important information about the water machine. There was just too much information to cover. So for example, one of the biblical codes that I talked about, which is found in lobsters, has to do with the very first sentence of the book of Genesis. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And what I was able to show at conference is that the photons of light that are found in lobster blood are a specific code. And this code essentially is found in the first sentence of the Bible. Well, what I didn't have time to cover is that I also found a code in the story of the tree of life in the book of Genesis, and a direct correlation to the lobster blood. And all of that information was incorporated into our water machine. What this means is that we can use a combination of the correct nutrition with this water to achieve results in health and longevity that have never been available before. So ultimately, the goal is we want to stop the human aging process and even reverse human aging. And I truly believe we're on that path, and this is going to become self-evident in time as we continue to do additional clinical studies. So 4 studies done now, and another 3 studies on the water technology that are underway.
But one of the things that's so amazing to me about it is how synergistic it is with the patches, with the other products. Can you talk a little bit about how and why you approached it that way? It's not a standalone, but it uses some of the same.
Yeah, so of course, LifeWave is all about light therapy. And if we go right down to the way that we were created, is that our bodies are spiritual beings, and our bodies are biochemically controlled. So what I mean by this is if we look at the hydrogen bonds in our DNA, they release highly coherent pulses of light. It's like laser light. And these photons of light, called biophotons, control the biochemistry. And there's a very specific code. It's not at all random. And this is extremely easy to prove. You take living cells from a plant, animal, or human being, you put them in a room that's completely dark, you take what's called the photomultiplier tube, and you measure the spectra of the wavelengths of light that come off the living tissue, and the pulses of light are highly coherent, and they initiate very specific biochemical chains of reactions. So what this means is that if we can understand that code, we can influence our health with light. So the LifeWave technology in the patches was the first to take advantage of this system. We stimulate the skin with extremely low levels of light, and that induces biochemical change. And we've proven that now with our blood, urine, saliva tests, and bioelectrical tests in over 80 clinical studies. So the concept, I've worked on water processing for decades, and this has gone through many different, I've talked about this over the years, and the development of this has gone through many different iterations. But you could say about 6 years ago is when the fundamental discovery on this was made. And essentially, the water machine allows people to drink light, as strange of a concept as this is. So we embed photons of light into water. We get a fundamental new structure of water, which is highly coherent. And this can be visually seen through time-lapse photography, which we showed at conference. And maybe we'll show that again at Vision. And so you drink the water, and the light is now released and metabolized. And this is measured. It's incredible. 100% of the population responds. And in the first 80 people, 79 out of 80 people have a change in readings on the PhysioSuite equipment in 15 seconds. 15 seconds. So,
incredible.
So the reason why this all works so well together is that we're stimulating the surface of the skin with light with the patches to produce very specific changes. And we're drinking this water and taking light inside the body, and we're embedding photons of light that are based on lobster blood. And the reason is because ultimately lobsters are functionally immortal. Their cells don't age. And we want to give human cells the same ability. We want to prevent human aging. And we know that historically, biblically, at one point in time, human beings didn't age. And of course, we fell from grace, and then human beings began to age. And there's some very interesting statistical information there, but we'll save that for another time. But suffice it to say that even in modern science today, in mainstream, you have people like Ray Kurzweil and Aubrey de Grey who are saying, well, there's really no reason why human beings should age, and we can see lifespans of 1,000 years. So this idea, this concept of extending human life and, essentially staying 30 forever has hit mainstream science, and there's a gold rush now to how we're going to do this. And the path that I was blessed with was to look at natural living systems such as lobsters and then mimic that in a light-based technology. So we're first to market with this.